Good morning, my dear students. I welcome you all to Standard 8. I, myself, Miss Sejal, and I am going to teach you history in Standard 8. This is your cover page of your Standard 8 History and Civics textbook. If you have not purchased it, you can purchase it, or else every time we are sending you the Maharashtra State Board links. From that you can download that book and you can refer the book. So this is the cover page of a history and civics textbook of standard 8. Now I want everyone to move to the content page or an index page of your textbook. What is written? History, and in a bracket they have written history of modern India. So this year students, we are going to study the modern Indian history or history of modern India. As our history is divided in three parts, that is ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history and modern Indian history. So ancient Indian history you have already studied in 6th standard, and in 7th standard you have studied the medieval India history, and in 8th standard you are going to study the history of modern India. So overall there are 14 chapters which we are going to study in standard 8. Now let's move to the civics. Open your page number 66. You can see the content of civics. It is written as a parliamentary system. Okay. So students, till 7th standard we have studied our constitution, like introduction to the constitution, what are the features of our constitution, fundamental rights we have studied. Okay. So all those things we have studied. Now in 8th standard we are going to study about the parliamentary system. Okay. So there are different type of system which we have, but India has accepted the parliamentary system of government. So in that we are going to study the 6th chapter, introduction to the parliamentary system, the Indian parliament, the union executive and Indian judicial system, the state government and the bureaucracy. So these are the 6 topics which we are going to study in civics. Now let's move to the history part. Chapter number 1, sources of history. So students, I want everyone to open your page number 1, sources of history. Now you must be thinking, every time in history, always the first lesson is sources of history. We were in 5th standard, that time also the sources of history was the first lesson. 6th standard also the sources of history was the first lesson. In 7th standard also, now in 8th standard also the sources of history is the first chapter. But if you are going to see, then there is some difference. At 6th standard we have studied the ancient history. In 7th standard we have studied the medieval history. Now in 8th standard we are going to study the modern history. So according to the different periods, the sources of histories are also different. So the sources of history are different in ancient India, in medieval India and modern India. For example, I am going to give the example of modern period. In modern times, the printing technology was developed, and because of that we can say the newspaper is very important source of history. So if you are going to see in ancient times and medieval times, that time the printing technology was not developed, and that is why the newspaper were not there. So in place of newspaper we have a different written sources, okay, which gives us information about ancient Indian history and the medieval Indian history. So in short, there are some difference between the sources of ancient, medieval and modern Indian history. Or we can say the sources of modern history are different from those of ancient and the medieval history. So let's see which are the 3 types of sources of history. The first one is material sources, second one is written sources, and the third one is oral sources. So till 7th standard we have studied the 3 types of sources, that is material, written and oral sources. Students, this year we are going to study one more source of history in modern Indian history, that is video, audio and audio-visual sources of history. Okay, video means you know what is video, so we can watch that particular video. Then audio means which we can hear, and audio visual means which we can hear also and which we can watch also. So that is called as a audiovisual sources. So let's begin with our chapter. I want everyone to move to your page number 1. We have studied the sources of ancient and medieval Indian history. This year we are going to study the sources of modern Indian history. As I said earlier also, you have studied in 6th standard ancient Indian history. In 7th standard you have studied the medieval Indian history, and now in 8th standard you are going to study the modern Indian history. Historical sources include material, written and oral sources. So what are the sources are included in historical sources? Material, written and oral sources are included in a historical sources. Similarly, sources based on modern technology such as audio video and audio visual are included. So as I said, in modern times, because of technological development, we have a modern technology such as audio, video and audio visual sources are also included, which help us to get the information about the history. Let's begin with the first source of history, that is material sources of history. So what all things are included in the material sources? Let's see. Various objects, monuments, places, coins, sculptures, etc. can be included in the material sources of history. So various objects like pots, okay, ornaments, then the monuments, like we have a different buildings, places we have, okay, then coins, even the sculptures, etc. are included in a material sources. Let's see the first one, building and places. The period of modern Indian history is believed as period of European, especially the British rulers and the governments of princely states. Okay, when we are talking about modern Indian history, that time what comes in our mind? Then the British rulers were there, or we can say the period of Europeans, or we can say that the period of a princely states. Okay, so all those things comes in our mind. When we talk about ancient India, so what comes in our mind? The Mohenjo-daro, Harappan civilizations. When we talk about the medieval India, then what comes in our mind? The Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the Mughal Empire. So when we are talking about the modern India, that time what comes in our mind? That the European period was there. Even the Britishers, they were ruling our country, and the princely states were there in India. In this period, various buildings, bridges, roads, water supply system, fountain, etc. were built. So in that period, various buildings were built. Now also in Mumbai, we have various buildings which were built by the Britishers. Okay. Then there are bridges are there. Even the bridges are there which were built by the Britishers. That also provide the history. Then the roads are there. Water supply system is there. Fountains are there. Etc. were built, and they are providing us the information. This building includes the government offices, residence of officers, leaders and revolutionary, places of rulers of princely states, forts, prisons, etc. So what are the things are included in buildings? Government offices are there. Then the residence of the leaders are there, or the officers are there. Even the revolutionaries. Okay, so all those things are included. If, for example, if I'm going to talk about the Mahatma Gandhi, where he was staying in Sabarmati Ashram. So that is also the historical place. Okay. Then palaces of the rulers of princely states. So as I said, there were many princely states were there. So the palaces of those princely states were also providing us the history, as we have many palaces in our country. Forts are there which also provides us the information. Then the prisons are there which are also giving us the information. For example, if I am going to talk about Andaman, the cellular jail is there which is also providing us the information. Among these monuments, many buildings are intact even today. Okay, so if I am going to talk about the modern India, when the Britishers were there, that time they have built many buildings, they have built many bridges. Okay, and those buildings still now they are in a good condition. Okay, some are declared as a national monument. Okay, some of those buildings or the bridges or the or the things which they have built were declared as a national monument, whereas some are converted into museum. So there are some buildings which are converted into museum. For example, cellular jail in Andaman, as I have given you the example of cellular jail. So that was a jail which was converted now as a museum. While visiting the sites, we get information about contemporary history, architecture, nature of monument, and also economic condition of that particular period. Okay, so when we are going to visit that particular place, okay, so that time we get the information about various things like about the history, architecture, how it was built, what type of architecture they have done. Okay, then the nature of monument, how the nature of the monument, how it is standing, whether it is a box type, whether it is a pillars. Okay, so and also the economic condition of that particular period. So how it was built, so because of that we get the economic condition of that particular period, whether that time the people were rich, whether that time the people were poor. We also get the information about the economic condition of the people during that period. Okay, so here they have given us the example of Andaman, the cellular jail. Okay, as I said, the cellular jail which we have in Andaman, now it was turned as a museum. So if you are going to visit this Andaman cellular jail, then we get the information about the revolutionary work of V.D. Savarkar. By visiting Mani Bhavan in Mumbai or Sevagram Ashram at Wardha, we get information about the history of Gandhian era. So when we are going to visit the Mani Bhavan in Mumbai and Sevagram Ashram at Wardha, so that time we get the information about the Gandhian era. So there are many museums are there, there are many palaces are there, like Shaniwar Wada is there. If you are going to visit the Shaniwar Wada, then we get the information about the Shivaji Maharaj. Then there are many forts are there. Okay, if you're going to talk about Vasai, then in Vasai we have a Vasai fort. Then we have old churches which were built by the Britishers. Okay, so they are providing us the history. Okay, so the next one, do you know? Museum and history. For the study of history, various objects, paintings, photographs, and such other paintings are preserved in a museum. So what is called as a museum? Okay, what we keep in the museum. Okay, for the study of history, as I said, to study history we require many things. With the help of the many things we can study the history, like a sources I can say. Okay, to study the history, various objects, paintings, photographs, and such other things are preserved in a museum. So to make the study of history easier, there are many paintings or the various objects, photographs, and such other things are preserved and kept in the museum. At the Aga Khan Palace in Pune, we can see different objects, documents giving information about the Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so Aga Khan Palace which we have in Pune, which gives us information about life of Mahatma Gandhi. So as I said, there are different palaces are there now which were turned into a museum. Okay, like in that one of the Aga Khan Palace which we have in Pune. Okay, if you are going to visit that, then it gives information about life of Mahatma Gandhi. Now in material sources, the next one is statues and memorials. During the pre-independence and the post-independence period, pre means before and the post means after. So during before independence and after independence period, the memorial of many personalities were erected in the form of statues. Okay, so the memories of many great leaders were erected in the form of statues. Okay, for example, if you are going to talk about after independence, we have the statues of Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So they were the great personalities whose face were erected in form of statues, whose personalities were erected in the form of statues. These statues are also important for the study of modern Indian history. So these statues are also important. So what type of information the statues are giving us? Okay, for example, if you are going to see the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, So from that statue also we get the information. For example, if you are going to watch a statue of Mahatma Gandhi, then we come to know what type of clothes the Mahatma Gandhi he used to wear. Okay, how was his personality? Then what were the things he used to carry along with him? Also we come to know that he used to wear the spectacles, even he used to carry the stick also. So all those information we are getting through the statues. So the various statues provide information about the contemporary rulers and the eminent personalities. The display plaque on the statue gives us information about the full name of the concerned person. So many times we have seen a plate under the statue or beside the statue. Okay, we have seen the plaque or a plate we can see. Okay, on that what it is written, the full name of that particular person. For example, Mahatma Gandhi is there, so his full name will be written over there, then when he was born and when he was died. So all this information is provided on that particular plaque or a plate. Okay, so that is also very important, which provide us the information about that particular person. So the information about the full name of the concerned person, birth and their details, brief information about their contribution and biographical sketch of the person. So what other things are we are getting through the statues? We come to know the full name of that particular person, the birth and the death details, then the brief information about that particular leader or that about that particular person, and what type of contribution he has done for the society, and a biographical sketch of the person. Okay, how he was looking and all. Just as the statue of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Lokmanya Tilak, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, there are memorials which are erected in the memory of various events which gives information about concerned event, period, people related to the event, etc. For example, Hutatma Smarak at various places which gives us information about the or which providing the information about the Maharashtra Din we can see. Okay, so these are the different statues are there which are giving us the information. If you are going to talk about Maharashtra, then we have a Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Jyotirao Phule, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Lokmanya Tilak. Their statues are also erected in Maharashtra. So through that we get the information about that particular leader, what type of contribution they have done for the society, and also their biographical sketch of that particular person. Okay, so the statues and the memorials are very important, which provide us the information about that particular period or a particular person. So my dear students, here we are going to stop. Today we have studied the first sources of history in modern Indian history, that is material sources. In that we have studied the 2 points, that is buildings and places, and the second point was statues and memorials. So the next thing we are going to study in the next lecture. Thank you.